Devlog number 31. I've been putting in a huge amount of time working on this game lately, and I think some real good things have happened, so I'm going to show them off, but I'm just realizing now why the anti-aliasing on this text bothers me. So this line is nice and crisp. It's on a pixel boundary. Right over here, this one's like right in between two pixels, and is all blurry where the big vertical part of it is. That looks bad. Like, I keep looking at this text and not being happy with how it's anti-aliased itself. I'm going to have to redo this. The overall shapes are good, but the outline thickness is wrong, the anti-aliasing is wrong, the colors are a little wrong. Yeah, I think another, like, very visible UI change is definitely coming soonish, including this text and this background. Those need some things. Anyway, yeah, so before we get into the real meat of this, let me talk about a couple of small little UI tweaks that I made that I kind of like a lot. So, I have this test scenario copy here. A copy of this. Right, yeah, these only have info and copy now. You can't export them, you can't edit them. Those are the built-in scenarios. Oh, I should have some kind of visible difference. I guess an icon? So I was going to give each scenario its own icon. There are complicated reasons why I wasn't able to do that. And thinking about it now, I totally know a workaround I could do. Okay, sorry. Wheels are turning in my head. Scenarios should have icons for them, but there should also be an additional visual distinction of some sort between, like, so I know that this is a built-in scenario, all of these, and then everything from here on down is custom. Yeah, lots of work to do on the screen, whatever. Anyway, so test scenario copy. Sure, I can edit. What if I were to delete this? So it used to be that this just gave me a little yes/no prompt, and, you know, it didn't feel very safe. Like, I could just hit the yes button real quick and it would delete. So I had some inspiration from, I've seen a widget like this in a few different places, but Shenzhen.io was the direct inspiration for this one. So now I can press no, but if I press yes, if I just tap, it'll say hold to confirm. So I hold it and it sort of fills up the bar. It has to fill up all the way to confirm. So I'm still holding the button. If I go left, it cancels. You know, if I do it with the mouse, it's the same thing. If my mouse leaves that, then I have to refill the bar. So yeah, just to be sure, you're really sure you want to do this operation that's very destructive. Like, this actually deletes a file on disk that might have a lot of your work in it. So I want the confirmation to be very weighty. But also, you know, this only takes like 1 second to actually delete. So you can do it when you want to, just you probably won't do it if you don't want to. So anyway, I like that. And another thing I edited to write. This is all in different order. I'll get to that. Resource types are over here now. Just want to get to a long list. I figured out what I wanted to do with my scroll bar, so it's polished up better now. The rounded edge fits with the rounded edge of the window, and it actually has its own little space allocated over here instead of overlapping those arrows. So yeah, I think this looks much better. So scroll bar is good. And let's see, so what was I working on last time? I had just done this big data reorganization where challenges turned into campaigns, encounters turned into something different. I kind of did another one of those. In a way, it's a little bit smaller this time, but perhaps just as significant, perhaps more significant. So, I'm still just trying to go down this list and make all of these fully editable. I did it for battles, and I'm most of the way there for encounters. Well, more than half of the way there for encounters, at least. But let me talk about what an encounter is now. It changed definition again. So, as of last devlog, it was that an encounter is basically a place on the map you can go, which has a battle in it. And that battle would optionally come with its own starting condition inventory. So that's what a puzzle is. That's the way I use the word puzzle in this game. So like a normal encounter, like this is a campaign encounter, which just uses my collected... Oh, geez, I crashed. Oh, okay. That's not too surprising. Okay, so looking at available champions there has a problem. You know what? It was fun to do a bug fix last time. Let's go ahead and just... see what's up. Here's how I fix a crash. So after I get the crash, I have better ways of fixing crashes. I have had better ways of detecting and fixing crashes in previous games. I don't have a mechanism in here for this. I want to have a thing where I'm automatically recording all my inputs so I can restart the application when I get a crash and just rerun that input session and recreate the exact conditions of the crash. I don't currently have, for this game, that implemented. So anyway, attach debugger, tell it to run, do the thing that I did if it's reproducible. This is the wrong scenario. Oh, right, okay, right. So that was only in memory. Let's go in here and save this just so it stays around. Okay, saved. Yeah, so I don't have that nice facility yet, but at least I can redo what I did. It's pretty simple. So just go to available champions. All right, so debugger caught the crash for me. Stack trace tells me, ooh, this is not very readable. GDB on Linux gives me nice syntax coloring here. On Windows, it's not as nice, and boy, this text is small. Anyway, sigseg v, accessing memory I shouldn't be accessing. Available champion list view. Champion record, I'm going to guess that's null. So I print the champion record variable. It is null, as suspected. Okay, data window view, measure row width. So why is champion record null? Okay, let's go to available champion list view, 69. That is the line that caused the memory error that made me crash. So available champion list view with my text editor. And that was 69, I believe. Champion record. Scenario data, get champion. That looks correct. Champions row index. Okay, so what's row index? 1 looks sensible to me. And this must be valid because it was able to, counted available identifier. All right, sure. So champions at index 1. Identifier is 0x1? Count total is garbage, count available. This is uninitialized memory. All right, so I have uninitialized memory being accessed here for some reason. Why would that be? Self arrow champions is not getting... Okay, so when this available champion list view is initialized, it does one of two things. Include party members. Shouldn't be true because this is not a place where I'm messing with party members. This is the map screen. Wait. Okay, see, now it's crashing. This is the function I need to trace into, and it's crashing much later than that. So I'm not within the call stack of this at this point, am I? Map screen update, get actual menu. No, I'm not. All right, player inventory state model, get available champions. Maybe this is returning me some bad data. Okay, so let's do this. This is available champion list view. I want to look at line 34, so I'm going to break available champion list view.c line 34. Kill that execution. Yes. Run another one and redo that. So now it'll hit the breakpoint before it gets as far as crashing. It didn't. Okay, see, now that's useful information. Why didn't it hit that breakpoint? Let's break at line 25 instead. Maybe my conditional is the other way around than I thought it was. So I killed that. I run it again. Available champions. Here we go, 25. So we hit the breakpoint. Include party members is true. What does that mean? That doesn't sound like it makes sense in this context. Not super readable. Collection list callback. Static text list. Okay, sure. Okay, so mapscreen.c 278 is invoking that list. Let's investigate that. I've been changing everything about like all of these list views because they're used in the editor and... Okay, so this just passes in true. There's no trickery there. Game session, scenario state, player inventory state, inventory champion count. Malloc that size, mem copy, self champions. This isn't the way I like this. This is supposed to be the other order around. There's a reason for this. It doesn't strictly matter there, you know, multiplication is commutative, so it goes the other way. It's because this is the preferred parameter order of calloc. And whenever I express count times a size, I want the count first and the size second. just because that's the convention. Anyway, but that doesn't matter. I don't even want to make that change right here, right now. So what's going wrong? Error reading variable. Cannot access memory. Okay, sure. Yeah, whatever. So I'm here at line 25. Include party members, which is true. 27, 28. Champion count, champions. Okay, so after the mem copy, champion count is 2. What's this weird garbage? That's just like cursor garbage. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, so this is garbage. Really? So warrior is there, but the next one is wrong. Champion count. Why would that be? Okay, looks like this rabbit hole is a little deeper than I thought, but anyway, so somehow what my inventory state thinks its champions are does not make sense. There's some uninitialized memory in that list. That's okay. I will, I'll track that down all the way later. I was hoping that'd be an easy fix, but anyway, so something is going wrong somewhere in my inventory management. But I'm sticking to mostly editor today, so like player inventory doesn't mean too much. Okay, well, you know what? No, that's unsatisfying. Let me actually commit to this and finish that work. Let's track this down all the way. Okay, so here's what's happening. So, player inventory state, inventory champions. How does that get initialized? Shouldn't be doing these things halfway. So player inventory state model, right? Scenario state, player inventory state. Like the first one is sensible. I should have the two, shouldn't I? Can I go into a battle here? I see warrior, I see mage. That's very sensible. I can add mage to party. Mage is there. So I have both. And yet in this list, something is wrong. So like it's there, it's just not making it here. So my malloc invocation is correct, right? Champion count. Yeah, the inventory state. Okay, yeah, so let's redo. Whoa. GDB. Whoa. That's available champion list view. Line 30, right? Okay, so we're going to go here. Available champion list view. So, I think I can just print out this entire structure if I put a star in front of it. What is this beep sound? I'm not used to hearing my computer make that. It like changed which system beep is playing. Why? Champion count is 2. Champions equals that. Okay, so what about your... Whoa, that's not what I want. So I can't press the home key to go... Where's my cursor? What is happening? Where is my cursor? It disappears when I use my arrow keys. Ah! Bing. Inventory, arrow, champions, 1. Yeah, identifier mage, count 1. So something's wrong with my memcopy invocation. The size is wrong. It's not making it from the one place to the other. So like the data is there. The data is still there, but if I print... I think it's this. Yeah. Yeah, it's not making it. Like some size changed and it doesn't make sense. Are those of the same type? So player inventory state, inventory. So that was one of those was a counted identifier. Player inventory states. So player inventory state just has a player inventory, right? Like, yeah, both of these just have... Well, no, okay. So champions in available champion list view. Looking at this now, I feel like it should be obvious what the problem is, but it's not yet. So counted available identifier, I think that is the problem. So this is a counted available identifier. Yeah, I'm copying a different type, am I not? If I look in scenario data, a player inventory just has a counted identifier. So that's why the first one is fine, because the memory lines up. Player inventory, yeah, counted identifier, champion. So I have a type mismatch here. And memcopy is not type safe in this case. So I'm copying memory improperly. Player inventory state model get available champions. I'm surprised I didn't catch this problem earlier. Okay, yeah, so what's happening here is I have a data structure here, which is part of the player inventory. So for the champions in the player inventory, each one has an identifier and a count. So you can have a warrior with a count of 1, you can have 4 warriors, so that's 1 warrior entry here with a count of 4. But then for the player inventory state, like you can have a warrior placed on the battlefield already, so you might have like 4 warriors total, but only 3 are available because 1's already placed. So I have this counted available identifier here. Identifier count total count available. So you're looking in player inventory, available champion list view is using counted available identifier. Yeah, so it's copying counted identifier to counted available identifier. And because this struct is larger than this struct, the first 2 fields come through fine, but then the memory gets misaligned because I'm just copying basically garbage. Okay, so I know what's happening. I think I'm going to have to be satisfied with just knowing what's happening, because the fix here is basically to, okay, well, you know what? Here's what I would do. Include party members. Now, do you even use the... This is fascinating. So I'm realizing, yeah, there's just no type safety for this specific pattern of copying data here. I'm allocating my own copy of this for some reason. So instead of memcopy, what I want to do here is copy manually. Let's do that. So counted available identifier has an identifier. Oof, I don't like all these arrows for this, but that's how it is. So copy the identifier over, copy the count over, and I'm guessing if I show placed count equals false. Yeah, okay, so I set a variable here which makes the extra struct field of the counted available identifier irrelevant, so that'll never be accessed. Therefore, I can just set it to a junk value or to nothing. I'd prefer to set it to something that vaguely makes sense, so I'll just say that all of them are always available. So identifier equals that, count available equals count, and yeah, count total also equals count. Which order are they in? I like to have these in the same order. Count total first, count available second. All right, and that should do it. Get rid of the memcopy. And did I fix the bug? Error return, MinGW, Windows NAT, 1250 was fine. I don't know what this is about. Something deep in MSys, not something I really get control over. At some point, I might switch over to compiling this with MSVC on Windows. I haven't looked very deeply into that, but it's something I'm interested in looking into. All right, so play, collection, available champions. There we go, all fixed. All right, got them properly. Okay, so that's how you fix a crash. And that is a very common type of memory error. I write in fairly bare metal C, so I'm manipulating memory directly all over the place. It's just how I like to do things. Crashes like that will happen. I just use my own discipline and patterns to avoid them and knowledge of how to fix them when they come up. It's the way I like it. running without too much of a safety net has huge performance benefits, and I find it a lot more expressive than higher level languages that have all sorts of safeties built in. That's just the way I like to do it. Anyway, cool. So I fixed the bug, and it was a crash, and it was a tricky memory stomping crash. So I'm proud of that. Feeling good. Anyway, so scenario editor. Back to where I was. How did I end up clicking on this button? What led me down this path? I don't know. Right, yes, okay, so here we go. These are campaign encounters. They pull from my accumulated collection inventory. So here's available champions, here's equipment, here's lore, all the stuff that I earn. Like when I clear this encounter, I earned a mage and a fire spell. So this pulls from just that inventory. But a puzzle has its own starting conditions, its own inventory it pulls from. So in here, I have a wizard hat, a venom spell, haste and slow. I got 2 mages, no warriors. Anyway, so that's the distinction between encounter and puzzle. That distinction is kind of, well, it's done a different way now. So now, instead of explicitly a puzzle being a different thing to encounter, every encounter can optionally have its own inventory. So let's look in here. So encounter 1 consists of, right, so identifier is encounter 1, name is encounter 1, it's written differently. It has 1 battle, which is battle 1. I'll talk about variable number of battles in a moment. It's positioned on the map. This editing for this is not implemented yet, or prerequisites or rewards. The rest of this window works, kind of. So if I wanted to turn encounter 1 into a puzzle with its own prerequisites, I'd click here, and now this has a puzzle inventory. There's nothing in it, and this window is not yet editable. This is what I was doing today. But yeah, so now encounter 1 is a puzzle. It comes with its own starting inventory. It has no champions, so you can't really play it, because you got to have at least 1 champion to be able to do a thing. But now I can go in here and delete this. Now this is back to a regular battle encounter. That it's a campaign battle. Uses your campaign inventory. So I think that's cool. I can look at this list. This tells me like how many of each thing I have in there. But yeah, haven't gotten as far as implementing the lists of stuff you'd drill down into there. I could turn this puzzle into a campaign encounter. There we go. So now puzzle 1. Oh, that didn't update the window layout. Okay, not too surprising. So now puzzle 1, if I go here, we'll actually just have warrior and mage and not the normal stuff. And I get a different set of starting conditions based on how much I've cleared. Anyway, so that's how that distinction changed. And I've had this idea for a while, that some encounters, it'd be really interesting if I had kind of a game mode where you'd go into an encounter, do 1 battle as normal, then you would get taken immediately to a second battle. So like you'd do battle 1, then go straight on to battle 2. I wonder if I need any kind of preview so you can remember like what battle 1 and battle 2 means. I mean, you can just choose a more descriptive identifier for those. I guess that's what you'd have to do. I'll think about it. Anyway, so when you would come to battle 2, you would have, so yeah, like say, bring some dudes to this battle and do a fight. So I ended this battle with 1 warrior alive, with 1 health, and his potion already used up. Yeah, so item is now blank because he used the potion. You would take this state forward into the next battle and have to do it with those starting conditions. So then this becomes a multi-battle gauntlet, I'm calling it. So a gauntlet would be, right, you go to a second battle with resource values the same as you left the first battle, instead of going to the second battle and now, you know, warrior, I can refill my potion, warrior's health is back up to 6, all that stuff. So then this becomes an interesting game mode where like you get to optimize your earlier battles within the gauntlets to use fewer resources so the later ones have more available to do stuff. Or maybe you stall for a while at the end of an easy battle and cast a bunch of healing spells to get your health back up. And then you can start the next battle with a really high health value. I think that has so much potential, it could honestly become like the main game mode here. Like, it could just be that this game mostly consists of those gauntlets. Because in a lot of ways, I think that's kind of more interesting than everything that I've put in here. So yeah, I think this is a very important change. It's subtle, but could have far-reaching consequences. Now, how far I am with that is that encounters have a list of battles now. Right now, they just do the first battle. I can put 0 battles in here, and there's a reason that has to be possible. If I do that, it crashes. That's fun. I'm not going to debug that crash right now. I'm going to do this a different way. So I have a suspicion as to why that is. Let's instead make a new encounter here. Okay, yeah, so new encounter. You're called Untitled Encounter. Untitled Encounter, Untitled Encounter. You have 0 battles. This is another place where I have like a list, an expanding list of stuff in here. Let's do Battle 1 a whole bunch of times. And no real division between this and other stuff. This needs further thought. But anyway, if I just leave this on the default, you have no battles in you. No puzzle inventory, no anything. These all work as you'd expect, as with everything else. Right, so it'll warn me about that. Untitled Encounter has no battles assigned. I don't have a map position editor for that, so right now it just puts it in the first available slot with a star as its thing. So if I try to start this, it just says no. That's my handling for that. You just cannot start an encounter that has no battles. Anyway, so that's a fallback in case you go to the scenario editor and create an encounter before you have any battles, basically. Well, I don't want to assign a default. I want it to be an intentional action where you choose which battle to put in an encounter. Maybe I should take you straight to a battle selector for that. Maybe. Like after you enter the name here. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so encounter editor happening. And at the same time, I'm thinking forward to Gauntlets. So also, the other big thing I did was the battle editor. So I can edit battles now. This is fully implemented, full-featured, all the standard stuff. Here's the battlefield. It looks a little weird because I have to draw this over top of the imp icon. Let's go to a bigger one. In fact, let's go to a really big one. Let's go to map test scenario. Or no, UI limit stress test. Let's go to that one. That'll be fun. So battles. Battle 1. Battlefield is very large, has 1 imp on it. Or if I go to this battle, still 1 imp. Here we go. This is the one I wanted. So we got 25 imps on this battlefield. I can look at them in this list if I want to, and edit their stuff if I want to, just like I was setting up a party for myself. Or I can go here. This has no tiles? Is that accurate? Probably. What's that look like? Yeah, okay. Just no tiles. That's fine. No grass there. Totally reasonable. Anyway, yeah, so in here, Battlefield Editor lets me add or remove rows, add or remove positions in rows. I don't have explicit handling for... yeah, just I think the one and only thing that's missing here is handling when I shrink the rows too much for champions to fit. I don't know what'll happen if I have some that are just off the battlefield. Let's not think about it, because I'm going to make an actual way to handle that. But anyway, like if I start with a small battlefield, let's make a new one. Untitled Battle. So here's a 1x1 battlefield. Alright, here's a 3x3 battlefield. This is for enemies. Alright, I'm going to place an imp here. There we go. There's an enemy imp. Here we go. Here's an enemy warrior. I don't love that this shifts around. It's doing that because this is attached to the bottom of this. It's attached to the bottom because this is right in the middle of the screen, and this one's very wide, potentially. Okay, that's how that works. Ooh, I have a better idea. I don't like that if I just keep on pressing the button, this happens. Here's what I should do. Okay, this is a change for me. make it so you can point at disabled ones of these, and it just makes the menu reject sound, the no, you can't do this sound. But that way I don't have to move the cursor, and if I just keep pressing the button, this doesn't happen, because that's weird. Okay, all right, that's a thing for me to change. Yep, it does it there too. Okay, and this is confusing. Yep, that's confusing. All right, this UI needs some work. Okay, yeah, so that'll be a big improvement. Anyway, yeah, so Battlefield Editor. I can change the tile. There's only one tile here. Wait, dirt and grass. Oh, there we go. That's dirt? I guess dirt just doesn't have a graphic in the UI limit stress test, but grass does? How strange. So like if I'd go back over to test scenario copy, things would look a little more normal. This scenario is much more fleshed out. Which battlefield do I want to look at? This one. No, not this one. It's this one. There we go. Got some grass there, got some water there. Okay, let's make that water into dirt. Done. There we go. Yeah, this is the only operation on the player side of the battlefield. You know, you can change its size, you can change its tiles, but that's all you can really meaningfully do over here. Yeah, so anyway, Battlefield's editable, and yeah, the enemy side is of interest. I can go here and mess with what the imp does, change its actions, you know. This one's going to attack and then wait. This one's going to attack and then wait forever. I can tell you to attack this tile instead of that tile. I thickened up this outline to make that a bit more visible. It's still not perfect on grass, but it's way better than it was. So that's fine. Yeah, so this just uses the same widgets for setting up the party stuff. This guy has a sword now. All right, and he's actually going to start with 3 health. So he starts low on health at the beginning of the battle. And if I don't want that to be a thing, I can say default here, and he'll just start with 8 out of 8. I can reposition him. Well, you can't really see it happen very well there. Or I can just press the alternate button to do that directly. Yeah, so anyway, full-featured Battlefield Editor. I'm pretty happy with how that all works. Just some work that needed to get done. Anyway, yeah, I was going to talk about some of the huge refactors I had to do to get this all to work, but let's not worry about that. I fixed a crash. That was, that'll be your taste of the technology behind this game for today. Anyway, yeah, so this whole process of doing things in the editor, it takes a lot of time, but I'm realizing it's actually more valuable than I thought at first. It's not just giving me a level editor for like the things that I could have just messed with my JSON file for instead. What this is actually doing is it's helping me crystallize a whole lot of design elements in this game that I didn't realize I hadn't fully thought through. But yeah, like having to think through the stuff like this, you know, the puzzles don't make sense. Encounters should just come with optionally and inventory. If the inventory is present, then it's a puzzle. And they should have a list of 1 to n battles, however many you want in the gauntlet. So yeah, like there's a normal, there's a campaign encounter with 1 battle. That's what I would have just called an encounter. There are puzzle encounters with 1 battle. So, you know, 1 battle with preconditions. Then there are campaign gauntlets. Then there could also be puzzle gauntlets. Like you could have a fixed set of starting conditions, and you have to, from those starting conditions, get through multiple battles with the same resources without stuff refilling. So yeah, all 4 permutations of that will now be possible after I actually get the multi-battle thing in. So that's a kind of big feature I need to figure out all the UI for. And the UI for, like, going back in time, you know, you'll need multiple different attempts for, like, the entire decision tree of, okay, so in Battle 1, I spent these resources, then in Battle 2, I come up short on this. All right, so what if in Battle 1, I spent these other resources, and then in Battle 2, I come up short on something else? And, you know, having the entire decision tree available, able to switch between branches of it. I've thought through this, kind of. I've thought through it enough to know the things I need to think all the way through. Why am I here? I don't need to be here. Yeah, so, you know, this was my old scenario editor, but just typing in JSON in here was a lot less informative, as it turns out, than doing it here and actually looking at what's in the, what's in the game. This screen still is bad. This needs work and I don't know what to do with it yet. Haven't thought through that yet. But anyway, yeah, so got a lot more buttons here to look at. I can list the campaigns, but I can't edit them. I can edit champions. Equipment's done. Items is not. Spells is not. Abilities is not. These three are kind of almost the same thing. There's a lot of stuff that seems very transitional. Like, I just have the feeling... Well, these three are all different things. They just share a lot of attributes. Can't edit status effects. I can edit stats. Resources are done. Equipment slots are done. Properties are done. Lore is not done. Tiles are not done. Elements are not done. Visual effects are not done. Mechanics are not done. Scenario info is not done. I'm going to have a point system. That's what would go in here. I have a lot of thoughts about that. I haven't had the chance to talk about it yet, just because it hasn't been the focus of a video. Got all these things in the back burner that when I get to them are going to be super interesting to discuss, but they're just not there yet. Anyway, yeah, so this feels like real good progress to me because, like, it's helping my design. This, oh, geez, this looks like something. It's fine. This is UI limit stress test. This is a very wide data window view here. A very long encounter name. It's doing its job. All right, anyway, yeah, so grinding away at that. Good things are happening. And I'll see you next time for whatever happens, because I can never predict the end of one of these.